Okay, so our today's topic of the lecture is the comparative anatomy of the reproductive system of cow and mare. We will not discuss the detailed differences in the anatomy of the reproductive system of the cow and mare. We will focus particularly the important point regarding to the clinical importance as per the need of your subject. So before starting the topic, actually, we should review the introduction about the reproductive system. That is a very simple introduction. That the reproductive system, or you can say that the genital system, is a system of sex organs within an organism which work together for the purpose of sexual reproduction. This is a very simple introduction about the reproductive system. As for the female reproductive system, you know that it comprises of two ovaries and two oviducts, uterus, that further you can say that uterine horns of different shape and different animals, then a cervix, then vagina, vestibule, and vulva. You can broadly divide it into external genitalia and the internal genitalia according to the clinical features or for the clinical examination point of view. In the external genitalia, you can say that the vulva is included in the external genitalia, or sometime in the literature, vestibule also included in the external genitalia, or the part of the vestibule that particularly comprises the clitoris. Generally, vulva is the external genitalia. In most of time, if you read in literature, the vulva is the external genitalia, and then from the ovaries to the vestibule is the internal genitalia, that is in the within the pelvic cavity in cow, and its position somewhat different in the mare, that we will discuss in our coming slides. Okay, so here is just a schematic diagram of the reproductive system of the cow and the reproductive system of the mare. Here one can see some major differences in the reproductive system of the mare from the cow. For example, you can see that the body of the uterus in the mare, here in this picture, you can see that it is longer as compared to the body of the uterus of the cow. Then you can see the difference in the shape of the uterine horns or the length of the uterine horns of the mare from the shape and length of the uterine horns of the cow. Then you can see the crankles in the endometrium or in within the lumen of the uterine horn of the cow, that is on particular for the cow, that is absent in case of mare. Then you can see the shape of the ovary in this schematic diagram for the mare, and the shape of the ovary in the cow. Then you can see the difference in the length of the vagina of the cow from the length of the vagina in the mare. And then you can see the difference in the size of the cervix of the mare from the size of the cervix of a cow. We will discuss in detail the different anatomical points of both animals in our coming slides. Then again, you have a picture of isolated organs of the mare and the cow. You can see again the differences over here. Then you have another schematic diagram, particularly that is focusing the position of the reproductive system within the body of the animal. Here in this picture, that is the reproductive system of the cow. You can see that here is the rectum, then the vagina, and you can see the cervix that is having circular rings, then the shorter body of uterus. Then you can see the ram horn shape, uterine horns of the cow, and the ovaries in the cow. And in this picture, in the mare, you can see the vagina, then the cervix, then the body of uterus that is longer, and then the uterine horns, and you can see the ovary. Here is a particular difference regarding the position of the ovary in the mare from the position of the ovary in the cow. You can say that the ovaries in the cow are within the pelvic cavity, but the location of the ovaries in case of mare, it is in the sublumbar region. Okay. So before discussing the different points of the anatomy of the ovary in cow and mare, we will have a general introduction about the ovary and what are its important functions and what are the important structures on the ovary. So as you know that the ovary is a female gonad, and it is comparable to the male gonad, that is the testicles. Then the major functions of the ovary are the gamete production, that is the ova production in the female, and the certain hormones production. Then the important structures on the ovary are the follicles and the corpus luteum. And you know that there are different type of hormones that are being secreted from these structures on the ovary. For example, if we talk about some dominant hormones from these structures, a dominant hormone that being produced from the follicles is estrogen, and in case of the corpus luteum, it is progesterone. There are some minor hormones that are produced from these structures also, other than the estrogen and progesterone. So here is a table that you can see the important anatomical difference in the ovary of a cow from the ovary of a mare. As you know that the size of the ovary is very important when you are going to examine a cow or mare by the transtectal palpation. So as for the length or the breadth of the ovary of the cow, you can see over here that it ranges from 1.5 to 5 centimeter into 1 to 3 centimeter. Then, as for the size of the ovary of the mare, you know that the size of the ovary of the mare is larger than the size of the ovary of the cow. Okay, and the other importance is that the ovary is the landmark for the transtectal palpation in case of mare. So, this is the clinical importance of the ovary in case of mare. Then for the shape of the ovary, as you know that the shape of the ovary in case of cow is ovoid, or you can say that it is ovoid or almond shape, and in case of mare it is bean shaped, or you can say that it is a kidney shape. So as for the position, I have already discussed with you people that it is located in the pelvic cavity in case of cow, but the ovaries are located in the sublumbar region in case of mare. And the size of the pre-ovulatory follicle is very important in both animals. The size of the pre-ovulatory follicle is larger in case of mare. Here you can see that the size of the pre-ovulatory follicle can be 4 to 5 centimeter in mare, but it is 1.5 to 2 centimeter in case of cow. And then the size of the corpus luteum is also very important. It has a clinical importance, as you know that the corpus luteum of the diestrus is palpatable in cows, but the corpus luteum of the diestrus in mare is not palpatable. The reason is that the number one, the size of the corpus luteum of the mare is comparably smaller than the cows. Then the location of the corpus luteum on the ovary in case of mare, it is located in the ovulation fossa, that is a depression on the surface of the ovary in the cow, or that is the site of ovulation for the the site of ovulation for mare, and it is a depression on the surface of the ovary of the mare, not in the cow. Then the ovulatory fossa, it is actually absent in the cow, but it is present in the mare. So the important thing is that the site of ovulation in the mare actually, and from the ovulatory fossa, but in case of cow, the site of ovulation is anywhere from the surface of the ovary. So you can say that it is a very important point that ovulation fossa or ovulatory fossa is present in the mare and it is absent in the cow. And the other important feature anatomically is the shape, the difference in the shape of the ovary, then the difference in the size of the ovary, and the position of the ovary in cow and mare. Okay, so here you can see the pictures of the ovaries. You can see the picture of the ovary of a cow. You can see that it is somewhat ovoid in shape or almond shape, and there are different structures on the ovary. Here you can see the corpus luteum on the ovary. Then you can see the follicle, that is a well-developed follicle, the tertiary follicle. And here in this picture, you can see the ovaries of a mare that are bean shaped or somewhat kidney shaped. And in this picture, you can see the ovulation depression, that is having a growing corpus luteum on the ovary. So, as for the clinical importance of the ovary in case of mare, I have already described you that it is actually the landmark for the transrectal palpation of the reproductive system in the mare. And the other importance is that the corpus luteum of the diestrus in a mare is not palpatable. And you know that the corpus luteum of the cow of the diestrus is palpatable and has a significant importance regarding to the clinical importance. Okay. Then comes the oviduct or fallopian tube. I think you know very well that why it is named as fallopian tube. It is on the name of the scientist, or you can say that it is also known as the oviduct. It consists of three parts: the infundibulum, that is nearest to the ovary, then the ampulla, and then the isthmus, that is nearest to the uterine horns. There is an important point, that is the uterotubular junction. Actually, this is the connection between the uterus and the isthmus, that is called the uterotubular junction. Then, what are the major functions of the oviduct? Actually, it provides the site for fertilization, that is the ampullary isthmus junction. And the next important function is the transportation of the sperm and the ova to the site of fertilization. That is actually upper one third of the oviduct, that is known as the ampullary isthmus junction. Then it also helps in transportation of the embryo to the uterus. As you know that after fertilization, the fertilized egg have to reside in within the oviduct for 3 to 4 days, and after 4 days, at fifth or sixth days, the embryo descend in the uterus. So it helps in the transportation of the embryo from the oviduct to the uterus. So as for the comparison, according to the clinical point of view, the this difference is not very important for a clinician, as you know that the normal oviduct is not palpatable in both animals. So the main difference is that you should know is that the opening in the uterine horn, the oviduct actually open gradually in the cow, but in case of mare, its opening is through a narrow orifice. But according to the clinical point of view, the comparison of the oviduct is not as much important, but theoretically you should know. Okay, then as for the uterus, the important parts, you know that uterine horns and the body of the uterus. Then you know that the uterine wall particularly consists of the three layers, that is the endometrium, myometrium, and perimetrium. And every layer have its own specifications and significance. So, as for the important functions of the uterus, it is actually help in the production of certain hormones. Then it also help in the transportation of the male gametes, that are the sperm, from the site of semen deposition to the site of fertilization. Then it protect and provide nourishment, and plus it provide a conducive environment for the development of the embryo and the fetus. And finally, it also help in the expulsion of the fetus during the time of parturition, with the help of certain hormones due to myometrial contractions. So, as for the comparison of the uterus of the cow with the uterus of the mare, the most important feature is the shape of the uterine horns, or the shape of the uterus. That is a ram horn shape in cow, and in mare you can say it a T or Y shape. And then the size of the horns in case of cow, it is 20 to 40 centimeter, but in case of mare it is 20 to 25 centimeter. The difference is that in case of mare, the uterine horns are shorter as compared to the uterine horns of the cow, but the body of the uterus of the mare is longer as compared to the length of the body of the uterus of the cow. Then the endometrium, it is very important in case of cow. You know that it comprises of caruncles that are 80 to 120 in number, and that are arranged into dorsal and ventral rows. But in case of mare, there are endometrial folds important. It has a very significant and clinical importance in case of mare, particularly when the mare is in estrus, that we will discuss in later in our coming slides. And as for the body of the uterus, the length of the body of the uterus is 20 centimeter almost in male, but it is shorter in case of cow. You can see over here that is the 5 centimeter, or it ranges from 3 to 5 centimeter. Then the type of the placenta, anatomically it is cotyledonary in case of cow, but it is diffuse type in case of mare. Okay. Then the clinical importance of endometrial folds in mare, that I have discussed somewhat about this feature, but the details are in this slide. As you know that during estrus, the estrogen causes the swelling, and it will lead to the increased folding in the endometrium. That is particular for the mare, as you know that the endometrium of the mare comprises of the folds that are known as the endometrial folds. So, due to this folding during estrus under the effect of estrogen, if you are going for the ultrasonography of such a mare that is in the estrus, you can see a very particular image of these of these folds of the endometrium, and the pattern of the image will be wagon wheel like. Okay, so the increased folding in the endometrium during estrus in mare, it will show a typical wagon wheel appearance that is caused by the fold of the uterus that are becoming filled with edema actually under the influence of the estrogen. So it increase water retention that can be felt during a transrectal pelvic examination also. One can feel this increase in the size of the uterus due to the retention of the water or the change in the texture of the uterine wall in the estrus by the rectal palpation also. But it is more specific by the ultrasonography. Here in this picture, you can see the wagon wheel-like appearance of the endometrial folds under the influence of the estrogen. In the other picture, you can also again see as sometimes you can read in the literature, it is also known as cut tomato slice-like appearance. So this is another word that is being used in the literature for the image of the endometrium of the mare in estrus. Okay, then you can see over here in the given picture, the uterine horns and the body of the uterus, the major difference in the size and shape in the mare from the cow is that in case of mare, you can see that the shape of the uterine horn is poorly like Y shape, or you can say it is T shape. And you can see that the uterine horns are shorter as compared to the uterine horns of the cow. And then you can see very clear that the shape of the uterine horns of the cow, it is somewhat like ram horns. Okay, and here you can see the body of the uterus that is longer as compared to the body of the uterus of the cow. Okay, actually some students are trying to get entered. I'm sorry for disturbance. Then the cervix, as for the importance of the cervix, you know that it connects the vagina with the uterus, and the important function of the cervix is the transportation of the sperms to the uterus. Then you know that the cervix protect the uterus from the outside environment, as you know by the influence of the certain hormones in estrus and in diestrus. The external os used to close or partially open or partially close. So when the external os is closed, actually it protects the uterus from the outside environment. Okay. Then you know that it also protects the fetus when the animal is pregnant. It protects the fetus from the environment by making a mucus plug. That is a very pronounced feature in case of cow. The mucus plug. There is the heavy amount of the thick mucus that make the plug in the cervix to avoid the entry of the pathogens from the environment to the uterus. Then the other important function of the cervix is that it acts as birth canal, or it acts as the part of the birth canal at the time of parturition. Then again, it helps in the expelling out of the fetus and fetal membranes at the time of parturition. So, as for the comparison of the cervix, the most important feature that you should keep in your mind is the difference in the uh, lumen of or mucosa of the cervix. As you know, in the cow, it consists of 3 to 4 rings, but in case of mare, the cervix having the longitudinal folds, and the texture of the cervix in the mare is musculoelastic. But you know that in case of cow, the percentage of the connective tissue is more in the cow. It is somewhat fibromuscular. Then the canal of the cervix, it is convoluted and closed in case of cow, but in case of mare it is dilatable. And as for this difference in the size of the cervix in the cow from the mare, the length of the cervix can be 6 to 10 centimeter in cow. Then the diameter can be 3 to 5 centimeter. But in case of mare, the length can be 4 to 10 centimeter and the diameter can be 2 to 5 centimeter. But the clinically important feature is the difference in the longitudinal folds in the cervix in case of mare, and there is 3 to 4 rings in the cervix of the cow. And the other importance is that the cervix is actually the landmark for the palpation in case of cow, but in case of mare, the ovaries are the landmark for the transtactal palpation of the reproductive system. Here in this picture, you can see there is a schematic diagram for the cervix of a cow and the cervix of a mare. You can see the difference here is the cervix of the mare. There is no obstacle in the mare after the fornix vagina. There are just longitudinal folds. There is no circular ring. But in case of cow, you can see there are 4 to 5 or 3 to 5 annular rings. And here you can see the external os and the internal os that is also present in case of mare. But the difference is in the texture and the presence of the longitudinal fold in the mare, but the annular rings in case of cow. As for the clinical importance of the cervix that I have already described, that it is landmark for the transtactal palpation of the reproductive system in bovine. And the other importance is as for the method of the artificial insemination in field condition that most accepted is the rectogenital approach of artificial insemination in bovine. But in case of equine, it is genital approach that is entirely from the vagina. But in the rectogenital approach, the clinician, one hand of the clinician is in the rectum holding the cervix, and by the help of the other hand, the AI gun is passing through the vagina up to the cervix. So that's why the rectogenital approach for AI in bovine, but it is genital approach for AI in equine. The difference is also due to the texture of the cervix that one cannot hold the cervix of the mare via the rectum, but it is possible in case of bovine due to the difference in the texture of the cervix. Okay, then you can see a picture over here, the artificial insemination in the mare. You can see the clinician hand is in the vagina, and here you can see the AI pipette that is being inserted in the cervix. But in case of cow, you can see there is an animated picture that how the clinician is inserting its hand in the rectum, and while the rectum it is actually holding the cervix, and here the AI pipette is being passed. Then vagina, it extends from the urethral opening to the cervix, and it is the site of semen deposition in the natural mating. As you know that the semen is deposited in the anterior portion of the vagina, that is fornix vagina. Then the vagina also serves as the part of the birth canal at the time of parturition. You know that at the time of parturition, the entire uterus, cervix, and vagina act as a birth canal. Okay. As for the comparison, there is a difference in the length of the vagina. The length of the vagina in case of cow is longer as compared to the mare. Then the difference in the mucosa of the vagina in case of cow it is smooth, but in case of mare there are many longitudinal folds that are present. And as far another important feature that is the suburethral diverticulum that is under the pelvic urethra in the vestibule, it is actually present in the cow, but this suburethral diverticulum is absent in case of mare. So, as for the vulva, that is the most outer part of the reproductive system of a female animal, and it is actually the external genitalia, and it protects the uterus from contamination from the outside environment. As you know that the labia of the vulva makes a vulval seal. If the animal is healthy, if there is no injury on the vulva, or if there is no abnormality on the vulva, then the labia of the vulva used to be close together to make the vulval seal to avoid the contamination in the uterus. As for the parts of the vulva, it comprises of the labia and the clitoris that is present it is the ventral commissure, and then it has three main functions. That is the passage of the urine. It also provides the passage of the urine. Then it is an opening for mating. Plus, it also serves as the part of the birth canal at the time of parturition. Then, as for the comparison, you can see that the vulva of the cow and the mare, there is not a too much difference in the size of the vulva of the cow from the mare. But the difference is in the clitoris. In the case of cow, the clitoris is less developed. Well, but in case of mare, the clitoris is well developed and it is rounded in shape in mare. And another importance that someone can see visually, that the hairs around the labia of the vulva are present at the ventral commission in cow, but in case of mare, you can see in this picture that the hairs are absent in case of mare. And here in this picture, you can see the vulva of the cow and how it is located under the anal sphincter, and there is the difference in the shape of the labia of the cow from the mare. Then you can see the clitoris of the cow in this picture, and the clitoris of the mare, that is large enough and it is rounded in shape. Then it has a clinical importance in mare. Sometimes there is a procedure that is performed, that is clitoral swabbing, that is performed to check some venereal pathogenic agents that may be present in the dorsal sulci, or there are sulcus on the clitoris of the mare. There are clitoral sulci that are grooves, longitudinal grooves. Sometimes the pathogens can reside over there. So there is a procedure that is clitoral swabbing that is being performed in the equine, and that is particularly sometimes performed for the contagious equine metritis. Okay. Then the clinical importance of the vulva of the mare, there is a condition that is pneumovagina, or sometimes known as the wind sucking, that is important in case of mare. This condition is actually due to the problem in the pelvic conformation. So this is you can say that a hereditary problem, and this defect can be treated by a surgical procedure known as Kaslik operation. You can read the details about this procedure in your surgery class or in your surgery book. But you should know about this problem, that this is important for the mare when you are talking about the vulva of the mare. Then the winking of the vulva. This is very important feature. It is a sign of the estrus in mare. When a mare is in estrus, there is a continuous winking of the vulva with exposure of the clitoris to the exterior. And sometime at the time of urination, also there is a possibility of the winking of the vulva. But in estrus, the intensity of the winking of the vulva increased. Then I have already discussed the importance of the clitoral swabbing in mare. Here in this picture, you can see how clinician is collecting the sample through a swab from the clitoris. Okay, so this was as for our today's lecture. So there is the question pool that are minimum question that someone can ask you from today's topic. That mostly the question are of practical importance. So now I will uh, go to the gallery of the students, and I will ask one by one from you people some questions that are from the today's lecture, just to check your understanding and to make sure your presence, as we have done in our last lectures also. Plus, you can ask the question from the today's lecture by writing in the chat box. Okay, luckily we have our senior teachers with us. So I would like if someone participate in today's lecture or can add some important information for us. So I would like to unmute Professor Dr. Nematullah Saab. Sir, please, can you add some important information about today's lecture for our students? Sir, I'm going to unmute you. Sir Nematullah Saab, if you are listening me, sir, please, can you add some information for us?
You have detailed very well.
Sorry, sir, I couldn't listen your voice. Sir, can you please repeat? Dear students, you can ask question from Professor Dr. Nematullah Saab. Luckily, we have sir with us in our today's class. If you want to ask any question about the today's lecture, you can also ask from Sir Nematullah, and I think it will be more effective for all of us. Hello,
Hello.
sir. Sir, now your voice is clear. Sir, please.
Okay. In my opinion, you have detailed it very well, but still there is that's very good from the practical point of view. We have already covered these things in the theory lectures, and probably more will be discussed there. But still, if students have got questions, they can put
Any
yourself or
student
me.
who want to ask a question from Sir Nematullah, please raise your hand. Any student who want to ask any question, please, it is a very good opportunity for you people. Dear students, okay, sir, Yahya Khan, we have Yahya Khan, you want to ask a question.
जी
सर
Yahya,
मैं
you
ये
can
पूछना चाह रहा था जिस तरह हमने काऊ और मेयर में कंपैरिजन किया है, यानी कि हम बाकी जितनी एक्वायर्ड स्पीशीज हैं एक्वायर्ड फैमिली में बाकी कोई साथ भी इस तरह कंपेयर करेंगे सर इसको?
मोस्टली जो प्रैक्टिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ये मैडम ने आपको बताया, दिस इज वेरी गुड इंफॉर्मेशन। डिटेल में तो देखिए ज्यादातर आपके एक्सपीरियंस में जो है वो काऊ के रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स आते हैं
जी,
तो उनको आपने प्रैक्टिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से यू हैव टू परफॉर्म द रेक्टल पल्पेशन एंड फाइंड द ऑर्गन्स प्रॉपर्ली। फिर उसके बाद इसी को बुनियाद बना के आप प्रेगनेंसी डायग्नोसिस करेंगे, आर्टिफिशियल इंसेमिनेशन करेंगे। तो दिस इज द लैंडमार्क। You have been told the non-pregnant organs very nicely. So now you make it